up to mid-30s and some patchy frost for Friday morning.
What are you sending me?
A little bit better, too. A little more pleasant. Sunshine, mid-60s for our Friday. Back to the low 70s over the weekend. That's your forecast from the WSIC Weather Center. I'm meteorologist Chase Myers.
Folks, here at Randy Statesville, we have got the brand new 2025 Chevrolet Traverse in stock, all redesigned from front to back, top to bottom, inside and out. Come see them today. We have got a great selection of these new Traverses ready for you to take home. And also, we got great discounts on our Silverado trucks. We got the regular cab, crew cab, double cabs, discounted up to $9,000 off. Great selection, Randy Marion Chevrolet in Statesville, right on I-40.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily reflect the views of WSIC.
Welcome to Putting the Pieces Back Together with your host, John Gallina, and me, Devil Dog Devin. We are excited to be here with you this week. John and I just got back from a not-so-secret mission in Iron Station, North Carolina.
You know, it's really been a great day, Devin, but I tell you, I'm missing that upbeat music. We're flying by the seat of our pants today.
You want me to hum it or something?
I mean, you could. Let's see. Let's see how that would work.
You know, actually, I can't remember the tune at the moment.
All right, that's it.
I mean,
we're going to be doing some retraining after the show.
Like not wall-to-wall counseling, right?
You know, it's been such a great last 2 weeks, and so many phenomenal things that are happening.
Oh my gosh, it's been busy.
Busy. From the Mountains to Sea event that we had over 1,000 people there at Purple Heart Homes facility.
Yeah, it was crazy. I didn't know that we could fit that many people, and apparently we could fit even more.
Yeah, actually, more than 200 were camping out there at the facility, and thanks to the Statesville Visitors and Tourism Bureau for setting that up and being able to highlight Statesville and the surrounding community, and really turned the lights on downtown Statesville. It was amazing here Monday night, and to see that many people descend on downtown.
Yeah, literally turn the lights on, because Monday, if y'all are not from around Statesville, you may not know that Monday they roll up the streets. They are not open at night, so it was kind of cool to see that.
And then we had Take That Hill. What a great event! Had a phenomenal turnout. Very successful. Nobody got hurt. Amazing venue there at Southern Distilling.
Man, that place gets better every time I go.
It really does.
Of course, that might be because I sample more drinks every time I go.
Well, you know what I noticed about it is we are helping to socialize those donkeys.
Oh,
the donkeys will now come over to you. I don't know if it's because of what's in your cup or because they want to come hang out with you and be petted, but the donkeys are pretty friendly.
So you're saying the donkeys were hanging out with the jackass?
I'm not real sure how to respond to that, Devin. I'm flabbergasted now. So I think it's time for us to go ahead and move straight into talking with our guest, who's got some really more important things to tell us about. We are joined today by Danielle Moreland, who is the Housing and Energy Coordinator from WAMY, W-A-M-Y. That's stands for Watauga, Avery, Mitchell, and Yancy County, and it's a community action organization. And I know she is so much more busy than all of us, as they are providing the much-needed direct support services to all those that have been impacted by the hurricane that hit Western North Carolina. And so we're anxious to hear from her, an Army veteran herself. And so I no longer feel surrounded today, but we're excited. You know, anytime there's one Marine, you can be surrounded. But if you get 2 or 3 Army folks, and you're balancing the odds.
I'm glad we could balance that out for you. Danielle, are you there?
I am. How are you?
Excellent. It's so good to hear from you. So, you're where are you located physically right now?
So I am actually in Newland, North Carolina, which is in Avery County.
On Avery County, and that's like Burnsville, Spruce Pine, kind of in that region?
I'm a little more north than that. That's actually Mitchell County, so I'm a little north of that.
Okay. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself and your background, and then we'll start getting into some of the impacts and some of the work that you guys are doing. So I understand you served in the Army in a chemical operations unit.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic! So what led you to join the service?
Well, I was born and raised in San Diego, California. And I have a long history of people in my family being in the military, and it was always something that I wanted to do. And so I joined right out of high school, and shortly after doing basic and AIT, I was deployed to Iraq.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so tell us, for our listeners, what's a chemical operations specialist do?
So we deal with like the nuclear, the biological, radiological warfare that Middle Eastern countries try to impact, military or just civilian people. And so it's called MOP gear, and it's a heavy suit. Then you have a mask that seals you from being exposed to any of the chemicals and stuff like that. So we go around and teach other people how to wear that properly so that you are safe.
And that's not hot at all, right? You're wearing that stuff in the desert. That stuff's very breathable, right?
Oh, yeah. You already are in like 120-degree weather with all of your battle gear on. And then if you have to throw that on, you're in a nice AC, situation.
One of my most fond memories of being in the service was going through the gas chamber and having to don that mask.
Absolutely.
And it was so pleasant until I had to take the mask off inside the gas chamber.
I've had my fair share of flipping a couple extra pellets to make it stronger in the gas chamber than it should have been, probably.
I think I can still smell the CS gas that was burned into my brain.
Oh my gosh. You're responsible for that, huh?
Nope.
No.
There was other people that were. Nope, I'm not claiming that one.
You personally burned out John Gallina's nostril hairs.
It was more than a nostril hairs. It's permanently imprinted in my brain. Yeah. So
Right.
how did your time in Iraq influence you in your life's work now?
So I really got. So I'm actually a 90% disabled veteran, and I suffer from traumatic brain injury, PTSD, and different other things. And so there have been people that throughout my year, in Iraq, we had to do missions as far as like helping other people, moms, children, elderly and things like that, and bring food supplies and different stuff like that. But we also did other things as well. But then I'm going to kind of step out of my military. And once I was out of the military, I was a single mom with 3 kids, and I became homeless.
Oh, my.
And I was homeless during the months of October, November, and December. So as a single mom with 3 young kids, to be homeless is horrible, but during those holiday times was even worse. And I ended up having a church family come to the homeless shelter and literally just give me an open arm, and willing to help me get on my feet and things like that. And so from that point on in my life, I have always wanted to give back to people.
Danielle, that is a wonderful story, but we're going to have to take a break right now. Hey, if you want to hear the rest
Absolutely.
of Danielle's story, we're going to be right back after these messages from our sponsors. You've been listening to Putting the Pieces Back Together. We'll see you real soon.
We'll be back with more of Putting the Pieces Back Together with your hosts, John Gallina and Brad Borders, after this short break on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
All right, for all of you who are listening on Facebook and LinkedIn and all those other social media places, we're right now going to be trying to get Danielle actually physically on the screen. So sorry you don't get to see the normal stuff, but we're going to ask her to try to rejoin. And
I'm trying.
She is currently trying.
I am trying.
That's the fun part about technology. It doesn't always do what you want it to do, but that's okay. As a Marine, I learned that we improvise, adapt, and overcome. I don't know if they learned about that in the Army, but I think the Army had a bigger budget and they just threw more money at it. That's
They didn't throw the money to us.
I don't know. Matt Stevenson likes to tell this story about he was in supply when he first got there. And the master sergeant said, "Now imagine a hole with a bottomless pit. That's how deep your budget is." when they first got there to Iraq, but I guess the money kind of ran out. The hole filled up eventually. So what's our success rate there, Joe? We're still trying to work that out. So if you're watching us on Facebook, please bear with us. It's just one of those things.
I don't know what I'm doing right or wrong.
Sometimes it's the technology, and sometimes it's
Devin, tell us a little bit about what's going on with Donald Surratt today in Iron Station.
Oh, that's right. So today we as PHH team went out there to Iron Station, North Carolina. Donald Surratt. We've talked about this project several times. This veteran was living in a house that was completely dilapidated. Love Our Vets, an organization in Denver, North Carolina, brought it to our attention, and we got out there and we saw that the roof was so bad that if we took it off, that the whole house was just going to collapse. So that's kind of what we did. We took the roof off and we just started from scratch. This isn't something PHH normally does, but we did it for this veteran because we were able to, because of the community partners that came together.
I see you guys.
All right. She says she can see us now. All right, great. Hey, we're going
on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
All right, welcome back to Putting the Pieces Back Together, presented by Purple Heart Homes. We are here live in the WSIC News Studio with Devil Dog Devin and myself, John Gallina. And we got a fantastic guest who is just sharing with us a little bit about her background, Danielle Moreland from WAMY Community Action. And they are really being the hands and feet and doing some great things there in Western North Carolina to help all those that are impacted by the hurricane. Danielle, you were telling us your story, and I got to tell you, I was just absolutely enthralled in hearing about your progress or the process of coming home from Iraq and finding yourself homeless and a mom of 3 kids, and how your community was reaching out to you, and we kind of lost track of time there for a moment and had to make a hard stop for our break. Really glad we did, because now Joe, our amazing engineer, has been able to get you live here where we can actually see you on the screen. But with that, if you just kind of pick up your story there, and you were kind of sharing with us, how this transition from the military to the work you're doing now took place, and so I'd love to hear more.
Right before we stop, I was telling you guys how somebody came and helped me, and so I've always, since that point, kind of told myself I'm always going to give back. And so I've done a ton of different things in life, but I'm so glad that I was able to become the Housing and Energy Coordinator for WAMY Community Action. We serve Watauga, Avery, Mitchell, and Yancy, like they said, but we serve low-income families. And so anything that is 200% or lower of our poverty level, which is a lot of people, you'd be surprised. And so these could be elderly, these can be single parents, these can be just people that fell within hard times. And typically what I do is help them with home repairs and different kinds of things like that, and weatherize their homes. But now that this hurricane has happened, our focus has kind of changed. Right.
And you previously helped PHH with a project in Boone, North Carolina. Is that right?
Yes. I reached out. There was a lot of things that needed to happen with this veteran's home. And so I was trying to find resources and found my way to Purple Heart Homes, and I'm so grateful that I did.
Yeah, I think that project was for Rex McQueen, and he's an interesting fella. He's pretty a little eccentric, but a great human being. And I think WAMY provided over $18,000 towards this veteran's home. With PHH coming in somewhere around 47, 48. But that just shows that it takes community partners to do these things. We can't all have the burden on one organization, because it's just so much. When you're talking about a veteran who needs basically everything, he needed a new roof, gutters, flooring, and without the resources of WAMY, PHH wouldn't have been able to go in there and get the things done as easily as they did. So sometimes it's about money, sometimes it's about just having that support and engagement, and we certainly appreciate y'all helping on that.
Well, one thing I just want to add to that as well, I think, partnerships on the outside, they really sound fun, they sound engaging, that we're being inclusive of other people in a community, but there's a real intentional purpose behind that. Particularly with Purple Heart Homes work, because at the end of the day, we're going to come back home to our community. And it's about building relationships with those others and those other community partners in that community, right? To be able to help the veteran know that their community cares about them too. We're just simply a vehicle that we can, bring everybody together, the convener, if you will, to allow folks to come together. And we saw that today with Donald Surratt's project down in Iron Station.
40 different organizations signed on to that one. 40 different organizations. We built a house there, but we didn't build it alone. And that's the kind of thing we'd love to do everywhere, but we need that community engagement. So whether you're in Arkansas or Kansas or California, Purple Heart Homes wants to partner with you. So if you know a veteran and you want to help them out and you want to partner, let's get together.
Yeah, and Devin, this particular project with WAMY in the mountains here in North Carolina, that was a pretty significant partnership there, over $18,000 that they brought to the table. And
absolutely,
I'm certain a lot of volunteers and other people come along with that. But these projects don't happen alone, and so we're thankful for that. And I think the real theme and understanding for me is that we're not alone, no matter how you served or when you served or where you served. It's those life experiences like with Danielle's that said, hey, I want to give back, right? That
absolutely.
Somebody else may have it worse than me. I've been blessed, and how can I help pay that forward now? So that's really cool. One thing I'm really curious about, though, Danielle, you had said you're from San Diego. How in the world did you wind up in the Appalachian Mountains?
Most people ask me that as well. So like I said, after high school, I joined the military. I was deployed. I got out of the military actually in Fort Lewis, Washington. Went back to San Diego for just a little bit, but as a single mom, it was really expensive. And so I ended up moving back to Fort Riley, Kansas area. And then that's where I became homeless with my children. Then from there, and I got on my feet and everything like that, I actually Most people are like, don't meet somebody online. But I actually met my husband online, and he lived in North Carolina towards out in the eastern portion of North Carolina. And then his parents retired in Mountain City, Tennessee, which is just across the border of the Appalachian Mountains. And so we came up here so many times, and we really just fell in love with the area. It's so beautiful. It has all 4 seasons. So we just wanted this to be home.
Well, that's awesome.
That's really cool. How long have you been in the housing and energy coordinator role?
So for WAMY, it will be just short of 2 years that I've been with them.
Oh, that's fantastic. Had you been in a role similar to that prior to?
Yeah, so it wasn't a housing coordinator or anything like that, but I was a Title I academic tutor for a school district for over 7 years.
Wow, it sounds like she could help you and me, Devin.
Can she tutor someone who only writes in crayons?
Well, the challenge isn't you writing in the crayons, it's keeping you from eating them.
But they're delicious.
So tell us, what are some of the common challenges you find there in your community? Let's talk pre-hurricane, and then we can kind of migrate into some of the challenges you're seeing now after the hurricane.
Yeah, absolutely. So a lot of people don't realize, but these mountains, the Appalachian Mountains, they are the poorest communities in the United States. So prior to this hurricane happening, we were already poor. You want me to keep going?
Yeah, please.
Okay. So in cities and different things like that, you have where people, are willing to accept help and different things like that. Here in the mountains, it's a lot different. A lot of people take pride in their homeland and where they've been raised for generations. They don't need help. They don't ask for a whole lot of help. And when they do end up asking for help, their need is so much. So similar to Rex, he never wanted to ask for help. Once he did, his need was so much that there were so many different things that needed to be replaced for the home to be, safe for him. And so that's the same thing, before the hurricane is most of our clients that I deal with, when they get to me, their roof leaking is not just a little tiny leak. It's usually a larger leak with, ceiling damage, floor damage, and things like that.
Yeah, that's the thing with the roof leak. If you get one roof leak, man, the whole house just kind of starts coming out down around it. That's one of the first things that we always try to fix as Purple Heart Homes is a roof, because we know what it does to the rest of the home.
Impacts your health and safety.
It absolutely does. Health, safety, and accessibility. Those are the things that the 3 pillars we're always looking at when we're trying to look at projects. And you were talking about the.
I was going to say something that we have always said to anybody is, if you don't have a roof, you don't have a home.
Absolutely. And you were talking about how those people are so poor in those communities. Well, there's also those folks in Asheville that have a lot more money, and that disparity, it makes it so hard to see that. And I think that's one of the biggest problems with those folks that live out there in the hollers, as we like to say, out by the creek.
Did he say that right, Danielle? Sounded like a problem with his neck.
Almost.
A crick in his neck.
It's not a crick in my neck. There's a crick and there's a creek. It has something to do with the differences in size.
It's not a brook and a stream.
Well, I mean, those are different things as well. My mom's watching on Facebook. I saw her. I can get her to explain it for us.
Is the crick the thing you put on the fishing hook to go fishing with? You're just leaving off the crick.
No, the crick is a little smaller.
Oh, okay.
After we get back from these messages, maybe I can explain to you what all these different types of water ways are.
We better settle this during the messages.
Fair enough.
There's more Putting the Pieces Back Together with John Gallina and Brad Borders on the way from 105.9 100.7 WSIC.
All right, we are in the break, and we are still having a few technical difficulties.
I think it's headspace and timing for you, Devin.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So Danielle, if you were listening, we'd like for you to take a look at your audio settings on the app and see if you have give permission for the app to hear us.
So let's go back to this crick.
The crick.
I got a crick in my neck. Tell me about a crick.
The crick is a little smaller, from what I understand.
But are you really saying it correctly?
Yeah, there's a creek and there's a crick.
I've never heard that.
Yes, well, it's mountain talk.
Yeah.
I was born in Fletcher Sanatorium.
Fletcher Sanatorium.
Yeah, that's different than a sanitarium. Not much.
I thought you were from Morganton.
No, why would you think I was from Morganton?
That's where the insane asylum was at.
Oh, Broughton?
Broughton.
Rah, rah, hoot. We're from the Institute. Go, Broughton!
Case closed. Case closed.
That's Broughton's cheer.
I said okay to having myself come on, so I don't know.
Can you hear her, Joe? Joe can hear you now through the computer, so we're good.
Okay.
No, Joe's
shaking his head no.
No. Oh. Okay. What the heck?
Yeah.
Oh.
We just got a little bit of delay. We'll roll with it. Yeah.
We're gonna stick with what it currently has. Don't worry about it, Danielle. There's worse things that have probably happened today. If there's a little bit of lag and syncing up your lips, that'll be fine. My lips don't match what my mouth is saying anyway. So I'm getting side looks from John.
I'm gonna leave that alone, Devin.
Yeah, man.
You're digging a hole. Just give me more ammunition.
Well,
every week you reload me, I get more ammunition.
That's how we keep the 4 listeners entertained. Oh, well, we're at 9, Joe says.
Look at there. Ratings are increasing.
Well, hello to all of our ex-listeners. Oh, yes, Danielle.
Can you guys see me on my computer? Because, I have a double screen. I want to, if I can switch over to my computer.
Yes. Joe says switch to the computer.
Joe is getting all excited. The problem is solved.
We were getting we're getting 2 different angles for a second there. It was like a movie set.
Do I need to end the call with you guys, or am I on the computer here?
Yep, he ended the call already. You've been cut off. I'm so sorry. He hung up on you. That was very rude. He didn't even warn you. He was just like, click.
I know, rude.
You are so much clearer. I can hear you so much better now.
Okay,
oh man.
Cool.
There for a minute, I was like really worried. I could hear Devin through Danielle's computer and the telephone into my headphones. And I'm like, I'm hearing 2 Devins. This is a bad day. It's bad enough that I met another Devin with Devin.
I was getting ready to say you met another Devin today. Yeah, he was a much taller Devin though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was lots of attributes about that Devin that was a little different.
Yeah, a little quieter.
Oh. Well, he said he was only quieter because he was now much older.
Oh.
So you got a lot to look forward to.
Oh, you got something to look forward to. You're the one that wants me to be quieter. I'm fine with being loud. If we can make to that stage in my employment, then you'll be happier for it.
Then we'll be happier. Oh, we'll see.
Well, you will be. I'm fine. I'm fine with the loudness.
When's the last time you guys had an MRE? Because I have a big old stack over here of them.
I haven't had one in probably 20 years, literally.
I've got several in my office, but I refuse to eat them.
Really?
Yeah.
My 20-year-old son wanted a box of MREs for his birthday on Monday, so guess what I gave him?
No kidding. Wow.
Sounds like a present from the Grinch.
BuzzFeed, Bloomberg Radio.
Now, more Putting the Pieces Back Together with John Gallina and Brad Borders on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
All right, we're back, putting the pieces back together, and we have this amazing guest with us today. We got Danielle Moreland from WAMY Community Action Group there in Western North Carolina. And Danielle has shared much about her service and about how she ended up in Western North Carolina from San Diego. And if you missed any part of the show, you can go back and check that out wherever you get your podcast, and just be able to learn a little bit more about the work that she's doing, how WAMY has partnered with Purple Heart Homes on some projects there in Western North Carolina. And we have, a lot of different things that we can talk about today. Certainly all the good work that they do on a normal, regular basis. But this part of the show, we want to kind of start segmenting into some of the impacts of the hurricane and the work that WAMY is doing now to serve those in need in their communities. I would say those that are most in need, as they serve the extreme low income, those that are 200% below the poverty line. Western North Carolina, a major part of the Appalachian mountain chain, is some of the most poorest communities in the country, and just a significant need. And so, Danielle, I just want to turn it back over to you and just kind of get some of the feel for what you're seeing and experiencing. I mean, yourself, you live there in Western North Carolina, so I'm sure this is so much more than just what you see and how you're helping, but how are you impacted as well?
So the day of when the hurricane came through, the mountains were already experiencing rain. We had rain for 2 days before the hurricane even came to us. So our ground was already saturated. Our streams and rivers were already full. And then we have this hurricane. And in a couple of portions of the counties that we serve, there was over 30 inches of rain.
Oh my.
Now, that's a lot.
Oh, that's a lot. Yeah.
So, for myself, where I live, I have 2 landslides, one that almost took out my shed and one that hit my husband's truck. And then I also had a mountain come down on the road up to our homes. So just as other people were impacted, so was I.
So did you lose access to your home physically? Like you couldn't get in or out, or?
No, we were able to, I wish I could show pictures, but this little tiny makeshift road, it had trees and branches and all kinds of debris over it. My husband's truck was actually able to get over that, so we had an access out. But we also had to dig out some cars from a neighbor's house to be able to use their front yard currently as our road.
Oh, wow. So you're using your neighbor's front yard as your road currently.
Absolutely.
And this is a pretty typical story for your neighbors as well, right?
Yes, it's all over the mountains. So many roads got washed out. So many landslides not only took out roads, but also homes.
Just you can't even hardly put that into a mental picture. I mean, I wish you could share some of those photos with us right now, because it's hard for me to even contemplate. I've seen so many photos, roads just completely gone, and rivers where roads used to be, and homes. We had one veteran contact us and talking about mudslides. He said he was in his home when a mudslide moved his home 300 yards.
Oh my gosh.
While he was in the home.
That's crazy. Like imagine taking a ride and in your own house, the whole house just that's insane.
It's hard to even believe, right? I mean, it's just unfathomable, and that could happen so close to home right here in North Carolina. And so just a phenomenal story, just some thoughts that come to my mind. So how are you all how are you all responding? What is it? What's that plan? What's the need? And how have the needs changed?
Yeah, so originally the needs were everybody we had no electricity throughout pretty much the whole mountain. In Mitchell and Yancy counties, the water treatment facility is completely gone. So they don't have running water right now. And so the need was so big for like water and household supplies and things like that. And so that's not the need anymore. I was joking around with a couple of people, and we've kind of said, and I don't know if other people have heard this, but we have enough water right now to rebuild the flood and enough toilet paper, diapers, and female products to soak the flood right back up. So those are not needed products up here.
That's a pretty that's some imagery right there. Like I can visualize.
I was going to say I got that visual.
Yeah, man. so
and
we don't need that.
It's
so
funny, but it's so true.
So what is the need then? So you've got enough water and toiletries at the moment. What do you need?
So as these people have lost homes or portions of their homes or had to tear out because of flooding and different things like that, yes, the power companies are bringing power back on, but some areas are not getting power still. So generators are a huge thing. Portable heaters, and yes, kerosene will heat up the home, but that's not really safe for people.
Right.
And so more of the propane heaters, like the little buddy ones, work really good with the canisters. Cleaning supplies are still a go because they're having to sift through mud and clean things, and laundry detergent from washing clothes if they were able to save anything. Building supplies are going to be a huge need here soon, and as people start rebuilding their homes, because nobody in the mountains has flood insurance.
Right, because you didn't need it, right? You didn't think you did. They're calling this the 1,000-year flood, so you probably weren't expecting this.
Right. So building supplies are a huge need. And then, it's getting cold. And so heaters are the most important, and to keep these people warm. We have tons of clothes that have came in, so that's not a need right now. But really just, as the holidays come close, it hurts my heart to know that there's people that are without homes. And I personally, I've checked on all my clients. I have about 5 that I haven't been able to get a hold of. 1 has lost her life, unfortunately. And I have 3 that have completely lost their homes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Well, we've got about 1 minute left till break.
Yeah.
So if you can tell people to send one item, what is that?
Heaters.
Heaters.
Yeah.
So
specifically little buddy heaters, and I'll just touch on this real quick. Purple Heart Homes is selling chicken plates every Wednesday. We committed to do that for 6 weeks. When I spoke with the pastor at the church last night, he told me that their plan with those funds is to purchase those little buddy heaters and propane cylinders just for them. And so we're also taking contributions to add to that fund. And if folks want to support, they can go to phhusa.org/Helene, and they can see the effort there, and they can jump in and support.
Also, if you want to be part of that, you want to volunteer for that, we need a lot of folks out there to hand out the plates and handle the cash and clean up. All of the things that you would think would go on with a barbecue, they all need to be done. And many hands make light work, as they say. And so since we're doing this for so many weeks, there's plenty of opportunities. If you can't volunteer this week, don't worry. There's next week, the week after, and the week after that. So get your team together. Bring them out to Purple Heart Homes. Sign up with us online. We're going to put the links everywhere we got them. Hey, you've been listening to Putting the Pieces Back Together. We'll be right back after these messages.
Keep it right here. Putting the Pieces Back Together with John Gallina and Brad Borders will return after these messages on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
All right, we are in our last break here, Danielle, and we got just so many different things that we can cover, and it's always tough. You think an hour on an interview on a radio show is a long time, but it goes really, really quick. It's especially when you're juggling some technical difficulties. I do want to give a shout out to Joe, our show engineer here at WSIC. He makes it all happen while he's behind the scenes and oftentimes quiet. Here on our show, he has his own show, the sports show that he does every day here on WSIC, which he, single-handedly, I will add. He runs the board. He does the show. He's giving the sports stats and everything. So just want to give a shout-out to Joe, and if you've never heard his show, be sure to check that out. And
that's pretty amazing. We got two hosts. We can't even handle the hosting duties by ourselves. And then we have him operating the board. Wow, he's really making us look bad, John.
He really is, and he's just a great guy. But Danielle, we're just so thrilled that you're doing the work you're doing there in Western North Carolina. So I don't want to miss the opportunity just to thank you for the past partnership and the work that we've done together. Thank you for your service, Absolutely. But also thank you for the work that you're doing to help others in need, whether veterans or not. That's really, really great of you, and I wish more people would jump in and do that. Oh
no, we've lost Danielle's audio.
Oh,
there you are. Hey, we can hear you again.
No, don't do that to me. While we're on this break, and I don't know if you guys are able to, could we share our WAMY website in case they want to donate to people up here?
Absolutely. When we come back, it'd be great if you announce that on the air.
Let's do
that. I
that.
just want to make sure I do what you guys want to.
Yeah, we'll do that at the closing. As we close, if you'll just be ready, Devin will ask you just how people can support, and you can just give all that information, and that way people can write it down and be able to re-air. And we'll make sure we put that also in the comment section on the social media platform.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah. Too easy. And Dev, we got a couple of events when we come back. Just want to hit these couple of events, and I got one, actually two, to add to your list.
Well, yeah, we need to make sure they're added for next week too.
Yeah.
Speak with John Gallina and Brad Borders at 844 Studio 4. It's Putting the Pieces Back Together on 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
We're back. You're listening to Putting the Pieces Back Together, and we have been talking to Danielle Moreland. I forgot her name for a second. I was looking on my phone. I was like, who are we talking to?
You've only been talking to her for an hour, Devin.
An hour plus. I'm 10-second Tom over here. I can barely remember my own name.
Crick, 10-second Tom. Where do you come up with these things? I've never heard 10-second Tom. I'm not even going to... I don't even want to say what I think that sounds like. Just stop, Devin. Just stop.
Wow, why does your mind go there?
We're just going to go straight into some upcoming events.
I think that'd be for the best.
And so we have currently the Purple Heart Homes Buy a Plate, Send a Plate barbecue chicken fundraiser. That is in partnership with South River Baptist Church and Purple Heart Homes. And we have so many great sponsors have signed on, just all kinds of volunteers that have been coming together to support this. 100% of the proceeds are going to support the relief effort in Western North Carolina. We're doing that every Wednesday through November 13th at Purple Heart Homes. You can pre-order your plates by going to our website. And Devin, I believe that's also on that Hurricane Helene landing page. So that is
Absolutely.
usa.org/Helene, and you can pre-order, you can volunteer, you can make a contribution, support that event, and support those folks in need all over Western North Carolina.
And before you move on from that, I wanted to give a big shout out to United Federal Credit Union. They came in big with $2,500 directly to go toward the impact of Hurricane Helene. And so,
then, hey, let me just give a shout out to the head chef, John Gallina. That'd be Big John, not me.
Yeah, Big John. That's the only person I've ever seen tell John Gallina, this one that's on the radio show, what to do. And he just like, yep. All right. Yes, sir.
Don't get any ideas, Devin.
I'm just going to call him when I need something done from now on.
Don't get any ideas. Yep. And then we have the Camp for Heroes Hero Fest that's happening down in Fairmont, North Carolina at Camp for Heroes. That's going to be on November the 1st through November the 3rd. And the Hero Fest is a family-friendly event featuring live music, food, and activities to support veterans. Come out and join the all-day activities and fun while supporting the mission to provide a retreat for veterans in need. Purple Heart Homes is currently working with Camp for Heroes to provide 5 tiny homes to expand their capacity to be able to serve veterans. And we couldn't do that without the support of the North Carolina State Legislature and their state-directed grant that they've been supporting veterans with through Purple Heart Homes. And last but not least, on November the 2nd in Charlotte, North Carolina at Quail Hollow, I might add this is our favorite event of the year, is the Patriot Gala. Purple Heart Homes has been partnering with Patriot Military Family Foundation for about the last 8 years. And with that, this is a great gala that they put on, and sure to be first class as always. And so come out and support your veterans, support veteran housing, veterans with service dogs, and post-traumatic stress treatment that they provide. And we just encourage you to check out their website at pmff.org. Patriot Military Family Foundation is the name of their organization. You can check them out online. Get your tickets. There's still a few left, and I hope to see you there.
Can I wear my tuxedo T-shirt to that?
I'm sure you can wear your tuxedo T-shirt to that, but you might need to put a tuxedo jacket on over top of that.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Well,
and then you can also tie your Purple Heart Homes bow tie on, and just make sure you tie it extra tight.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, it sounds great. You know,
if you need any help, let me know. I'll help you tie
that. You can be my +1.
I've already got a +1.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, let's get back to Danielle. We were just talking to you right before the break. Danielle, I know you're dealing with all of these things that are happening in Western North Carolina. While you're helping others, you're having to contend with this. You're in your own home, and you've got 3 young kids, right?
They're not young; they're older, but yes.
And so how has this impacted your children?
So I have a 20-year-old, an 18-year-old, and a 14-year-old. My 2 older children were outside helping shovel the mud and dirt that came down on vehicles and stuff like that, and helped make a makeshift road. And my 14-year-old has literally been with me every single day as I am helping people throughout our communities and hugging them and talking with them and giving them food and things like that. So I told him, being here, going through this tragic event is better than any classroom you'll ever be in.
You know, and that's so true. And I love what you said there too, that sometimes people just need a hug.
Yeah.
Right. Just to know that, I mean, that human connection when you go through such a tragedy as what we've seen in this very traumatic experience. I would imagine that goes a lot further than even some dollar bills in somebody's hand at that moment.
Honestly, I've hugged and I've cried and done all those things. And one of the most touching things that I was able to do was just a couple days after the hurricane hit. I reached a community and 2 teenagers had a birthday, but they lost completely everything. And I said, tomorrow I will be back with birthday cakes. And I went and bought a birthday cake, came back, and I sang them happy birthday. And it was probably one of the most touching things I could ever do in that moment for someone.
Wow, that's amazing. And imagine in the midst of this, you're having a birthday or a special moment, and you've got to try to figure out a different way to celebrate. And speaking of which, remember everyone, Christmas is coming up. Thanksgiving is coming up, and so when we're being thankful around that Thanksgiving table, hey, remember what you have to be thankful for, and let's keep these folks in mind. We need to be gathering supplies and Christmas gifts. A lot of these people aren't going to have access to that.
You know, Devin, while we've been cooking chickens for the last couple of weeks, before we get to Christmas, we got Thanksgiving coming up.
Right.
And so there's a lot of people that they're not even going to have a table to sit around. That, we're currently tracking roughly 235 veterans that have lost their homes across all of Western North Carolina. And so we're working with the local KOA, we're working with Lockling Construction, we're working with Driver Custom Homes to try and figure out how to get them into temporary housing. But, many of them have just lost everything. And so think about that, as you do your planned giving for the end of the year.
Absolutely.
And how you can support, whether that's with, maybe a meal to a homeless shelter, right? To make sure these folks have a meal, or, supporting great organizations like WAMY and being able to help be the hands and feet there in that community. And certainly, we're trying to figure out where Purple Heart Homes will fit into that, into the, holiday season. But we can't do it alone. None of these organizations are able to function without the community. And so I encourage you all to just to get engaged. You can make a difference. You can change a life. You can even impact your own life in realizing that you can make a difference and change the trajectory of not just one generation, but multiple.
Absolutely. Speaking of supporting WAMY, how can they do that, Danielle?
So the easiest way for you to donate to help us is going to our website. It's WAMYcommunityaction.org, and it'll pop up and you can donate that way. You can always call the office. Sorry, there's a bug in my face. You can always call the office, and that's going to be 828-264-2421. And they can guide you as well.
Give us that phone number one more time.
828-264-2421.
And the website again?
It's WAMY, WAMY, communityaction.org.
That's fantastic. So if you're listening to the show today, or if you're listening to the show, a few days from now, please check them out. That's WAMYcommunityaction.com, or you can .org. Sorry, thank you for correcting me there. And we'll make sure that is included in the comment section on the social media links. And you can also contact them directly by telephone at 828-264-2421. And so great organization doing some great work. Proud to have partnered with them through Purple Heart Homes and see firsthand their heart and the hard work that they put into serving their community. And Danielle, again, I just want to say thank you for your service. Thank you for your heart for people and the service you continue to provide to your community, and wish there were many, many more like you.
Well, I appreciate it, and I just want people to know that this is going to be a long road, but the people in the mountains are resilient people, and we thank everybody for anything that they can contribute to us.
Yeah, and just again, a reminder, they need little buddy heaters and generators. They got enough water and they got enough toilet paper, so hold off on sending any more of that. And Devin, been another great show, another great day. Served a veteran, got to connect with another great veteran here on the radio, and it's been a full day.
It absolutely has. We've helped a lot of people. We're going to keep helping more. And hey, next week, Joshua Ray Hudson's supposed to be with us.
That's right. And don't forget to buy your chicken plate so you can send a chicken plate. We're going to be cooking another 500 chicken quarters for next week, $10 a plate. Check us out, purplehearthomesusa.org. It's been a pleasure being here with you today, and we will be back next week.
We'll see you then.
Serving you better than ever before.